You know, it's funny how sometimes the biggest life lessons don't come from some thick book or fancy lecture. They're just sitting right there in front of us in the simplest things. Today, we're going to unpack this really powerful metaphor for how to live a good life, and it all comes from the quiet wisdom of a tree. The whole idea kicks off with this really simple, direct question. It's basically asking us to just stop for a second, to really look, and to see something more than just wood and leaves. It wants us to see a quality we're all kind of searching for, steadfastness. And that's going to be our big idea today. So, to really get what that means, we've got to first understand the tree itself, what it is at its core, and why it has this kind of unwavering presence. I mean, think about that for a second. Its whole existence is just this quiet act of service. It soaks up the heat, takes a beating from the weather, not for itself, but just to give a little bit of comfort to whoever passes by. Its purpose is so simple, but so deep. But, this peaceful picture isn't the whole story. And that brings us to the next part, because a tree's steadfastness isn't about standing still in perfect weather. It's tested, big time, by the cycles of nature. It has to endure constant, massive change. We all know this rhythm, right? First, you get the absolute beauty of spring, with all the flowers blossoming. It's a sign of new life, of promise. Then that turns into a season of total abundance, where the tree is heavy with fruit. But just as surely as summer comes, so does autumn. And the tree has to let it all go, the fruit, the leaves, everything, until it's standing completely bare. And this is where it gets really incredible. It goes from this vibrant, full life to being stark and empty, and then it does it all over again year after year. Through all of that, its core, its presence, it just remains. So what's the secret? How on earth does it pull off that kind of resilience? Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of it all. The simple, powerful truth behind how this tree endures everything that's thrown at it. And boom, there it is. That's the whole key. This isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about a much deeper kind of acceptance. The tree doesn't get swept up in the party when it's full of fruit, and it doesn't fall into despair when all its leaves fall off. It goes through both, but it isn't chained to either feeling. Which, leads to a pretty interesting question. If it's not getting all excited or all upset, what makes it so special? Why do we look at it and see this incredible symbol of strength? Well, the answer comes down to this one amazing word, a dig. It means to be steadfast, unwavering, completely and firmly rooted right where you are. The tree's power doesn't come from dodging the good times or the bad times. It comes from being so deeply anchored that no season can pull it out of the ground. And of course, you've probably figured it out by now. This was never really just about a tree, was it? It's a perfect mirror for our own lives, for our own emotional seasons. Just like those fruits and falling leaves, our own moments of happiness and our periods of sorrow, they're just a natural, unavoidable part of being human. They're not bugs in the system, they are the system. They are what life is. And this makes that connection crystal clear. The fruit, right? That season of abundance, that's like our moments of happiness, our wins, our successes. And autumn, that season of letting go, well, that's our moments of sorrow and loss. And guess what? Both are guaranteed to come around. So what this is really asking us to do is to see both our joys and our pains as these temporary fruits from our own tree of life. They show up, they ripen, and just as surely they fall away. Nothing, good or bad, lasts forever. Okay, so this is all a beautiful idea, but what do we do with it? Let's look at how we can turn this into a real, practical path for ourselves, a way to actually build that same steadfastness inside of us. It really boils down to two simple, but let's be honest, incredibly hard challenges. First, when things are going great, when you're bearing fruit, don't let your ego and pride run away with you. And second, when things are tough, when it's autumn, don't let grief just completely swallow you whole. Because at the end of the day, the person who can stay anchored, who can remain a dig through the sunshine and through the storms, that's the person who achieves this incredible kind of grace. That's the person who becomes truly worthy of respect, not just from other people, but from themselves. And so this whole idea leaves us with this final, really powerful question. It's a challenge, but it's also an invitation. When we look at the seasons of our own lives, Can we learn something from this quiet, rooted teacher? Can we too learn to be steadfast like this tree?